please, could you introduce your company shortly, please, and yourself?
I'm Prabhat from Blessings Telecom FZE. We are based in Dubai and we are a 20 plus years old company in this trade. And we deal with all the major manufacturers like Apple, Samsung, Xiaomi, and now Realme as well. And we deal all across the globe. I mean, starting from Far East to GCC region and also to European subcontinent and also the Americas.
How the disruptions on the supply chain, retail, and manufacturers, the lockdown right at the beginning of the pandemic, how did this affect you? It did affect you much. How did you overcome all these issues?
For the first 3 months, it was challenging because no one knew where to head for, and how this is going to shape up, and when this is going to, end. So there were a lot of confusion and issues cropping up everywhere. But I think after 3 months, when countries started opening up, a little bit of restrictions, and the trade got better, and I think from July onwards it geared up and it went very well till the end of December. And because of the lockdown, there was huge shortage of supply because of parts. Not manufacturers were not getting the parts, and the product was really less in the market. So this kept the market high, and which worked in everyone's favor. I believe I will call it a blessings in disguise. In the second half, it got better. I mean, obviously, the 3 months were completely out of market just because there were restrictions placed all across the world, and most of the countries were under lockdown. So so let's put it this way: that the second half was much better than the first one for sure.
How did you manage to overcome the whole issue of logistics inconveniences of the lockdown?
This inconvenience was there for a shorter period, but then Dubai being very, very aggressive in terms of the network, and the restrictions over here was just lasted less than a month, which was like 20-25 days only. And during that time also, the logistic was completely open, and we could actually export the stock out, or we can even import the stock wherever the countries are open. So during that time, just because if we were in Dubai, I think that was something which helped us to get the inventories on time, and we could export it during that time.
Import and export compared to 2019, what will be comparison?
We can say it was just 30 to 40% of flights operating all around, and then because of the obvious lockdown all around us, and but still Dubai came up very aggressively and opened the channels all across. So that helped us to get back into the market and start trading in a much faster pace than it was a few months back.
How do you see the upcoming online business for the industry, the e-commerce, and all these online solutions that have been obviously increased during 2020?
E-commerce and the last mile delivery business boomed completely in 2020. And I think that's the way forward. We reinvent ourselves each time we are in a situation. So I think e-commerce, made our life very easy, very convenient, and going forward, that's where the business lies right now. I mean, because we have seen all 2020 that e-commerce and last mile deliveries worked so well for our businesses. Otherwise, it would have been very difficult during pandemic. No one wants to actually expose themselves, but then the online business really boomed. So we, being a part of it, we are direct sellers. B2B and B2C with all the top e-commerce suppliers in this region.
So you have an online setup for B2B and B2C, yeah?
Right.
And what you're saying is that the online market, it kind of took over from your regular channels?
It definitely boomed in terms of volume. I mean, we all know that it was because of the restrictions in place and also the measures that everyone was taking to safeguard themselves, by not going out much. So the online business definitely boomed, and I think it has taken over great volume or great share in the market. Even going forward, it is very promising.
How important is the used market for you at the minute as a company?
Used market is very vast and growing, but we are not a part of it as of now. It is certainly promising, but personally speaking, it is little vague in terms of grading, because that is very subjective with the suppliers. So I would recommend that something of a formal grading structure. If we can get something in place, then it will change this particular segment forever.
Do you trade much in used phones?
It is certainly growing, but we want to get into the market. But because of the unstructured grading process, because it is very subjective, each supplier have their own, grading levels. So, if till the time we have that, in a formal grading structure in place, I think that will help us to get into the market, and in fact, a lot more people will get into the market because it is growing amazingly all across the world.
As a leading distributor of brand new phones and
Yeah.
other products as well in electronic products, which products, in your opinion, and on your record on 2020, have been the best sellers, or the product that suffered the most as well?
Xiaomi phones did amazingly well during the last year, and the number grown amazingly. And Samsung obviously was along with it. I think the higher end segment was dented because of the COVID, but apart from that, I think mid and low end range did amazingly well with Xiaomi. And with I'll also mention the tabs and the laptop segment, which did very well, and all thanks to the work from home culture and also schooling online. This helped a lot for this segment to grow.
The main products that you sold last year, 2020, were tablets and laptops throughout the year,
No.
or
In terms of volume, it was definitely Xiaomi mobile phones, which were, I think we did in maximum volume, and then I think Samsung. But I just did a comparison with the tabs and the laptop segment that was existing in 2019 versus 2020. So in 2020, it obviously grown, multiple fold.
Dubai, we all know that it's one of the main trading hubs in the world. It supplies Europe, supplies the Americas. The connections are everywhere. If you could recap a little bit on Dubai itself, what represented 2020, the restrictions, and also for the whole area, the free zone. Explain a little bit how it was and what is the situation.
Dubai, we feel blessed or lucky to be here. To be very honest, it's a wonderful place to be in. It's modern in every sense, and we have seen in the most difficult times that the kind of work done here was commendable. To start with the lockdown process, the sanitization process, or now if we talk about vaccination, I think it is second in the world or something in terms of numbers. Till now, Dubai, UAE has vaccinated 2.4 million people, which is an amazing number. So the care about the people here and the kind of processes that came in, which helped everyone to stay safe, because that was the primary requirement at that point of time. Even the lockdown was in place, and then it changed to few hours that you can't go out at night, after 9 or something, or after 10 or something, till 6 in the morning. And then there were restrictions in place in terms of wearing a mask, maintaining social distancing, which everybody followed. And all those things were obviously there with certain fines and penalties, because they go hand in hand, so that we all follow it, and it is for our safety. It is for our own good. So we have seen in past, say from past March till March 2020 till now, we have seen amazing reforms and policies coming in, and Dubai has done great for the people.
What kind of growth have you had in 2020, actually, towards 2019?
2020 last quarter was even better than 2019, and the volumes and the numbers that we have seen were definitely much higher than 2019. So in a way, it is a positive sign that market is getting better by the day, and things are getting better over the period of time. We have seen the dark days, or when the pandemic started. So that was a really difficult time, and a lot of confusion in people's mind when we had no clue what to do about it and all that. So now we have learned our way through, and how to move forward. But this is definitely 2020 was the second half was definitely better than 2019.
How do you see the first quarter of 2021 and looking forward?
2021 is certainly a promising year. We are looking forward to it. This is a time when we should work hard and try to, catch up with whatever we have missed out in 2020. And at the same time, it is best to create a balance between life and work. We should invest in our health and keep the guard on till the time this is over. So this is certainly how I'm looking at it. And in terms of work, I'm sure that this will get better by the day, as I mentioned before, in terms of vaccinations and everything all across globe. The pandemic curve is getting down. So say by the end of the first quarter, things will be much more normal than what it is right now.
Do you have any tips to give to the industry for 2021 from your experience in all these hard times in 2020
Right,
and so on?
right. I can only say that just go with the flow. I mean, you must follow what is the right move. Keep your ethics in place, and this is a time when one should focus on the promising markets and just try and work towards it.
You mentioned targeting markets. Did you change? Did you actually target different markets that you used to?
Not exactly, but we are definitely trying to explore the markets that we have never been present, or we have never explored before, because they are the markets keep changing according to the product line. For example, people who are very much into Apple business, they will focus on the markets where Apple is the leader in the market. So people who are now dealing with Xiaomi will now focus where Xiaomi will sell the most. So now it's time to reinvent and focus on your strength. What is inventory that you get the most, and then focus on the market where you can sell them at the best possible pricing.